Bronco Nation, when I score, Jackson pours. Each game I score a touchdown, head to Jackson's on Monday for a 49-cent fountain drink with Let's Go rewards. And don't forget your free banana, Jackson's. Let's go.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Get ready for the time of your life at Circa Resort and Casino, Las Vegas's newest destination for fun, featuring the world's biggest poolside tailgate party with 3 levels of action, 6 pools, and a 143-foot screen. The fun is always on deck with all the games all year long. Stadium Swim, located in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Book the time of your life today at circalasvegas.com.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place? The taco place? Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Bronco Nation, when I score, Jackson pours. Each game I score a touchdown, head to Jackson's on Monday for a 49-cent fountain drink with Let's Go rewards. And don't forget your free banana, Jackson's. Let's go.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
That's good. Well, guys, as always, appreciate you guys' time covering our team and our kids, man, and they deserve it. So I appreciate you guys' time and getting over every Monday and traveling to our games and going through all of it. So appreciate you guys' time. Thank you, Jesus, for an opportunity to coach these guys, man, have an impact on them. We got 108 guys in this team that I know are going to be world changers and professional in something, some football, some in other things, and I'm excited for them in life, too, to learn from some of these moments. Obviously, proud of how our guys battled, man. Really proud. Watch the game, got back really early Sunday morning and with some of the travel and what have you, but proud of how our guys battled. And we're going to talk about the game itself here more, but our guys did not flinch. They kept swinging the entire game, lost the game 17-7, need to execute better in certain situations, but they never flinched. Our sideline was connected. There was a lot of love going around, and our guys battled. We need to execute better in certain situations. Offensively, watching it, obviously there were some variables in the game, right? The weather was a variable in regards to why we ran the ball as many times as we did. We knew going in that was going to be a big part, but we definitely need to find our spots to attack more. We need to be on the attack more as an offense. And looking at, I know there's those spots. I had a really good talk with Nate and our offensive staff, and we see that too. Obviously, the weather early on in the game was coming down pretty good, but there were times in the game when it wasn't. Even when it's weather, we got to pick our spots. We are still going to run the football. That's a DNA part of our team, and we were able to do that in the game, whereas for 167 yards, whatever it is, but need to open it up more in certain situations and be on the attack with the ball in the air more consistently in that game. And then we got to make sure we had some critical penalties in the game. Weren't pre-snap, but critical penalties. Obviously, the one on 4th and 2, that probably was an explosive play that would have ended up probably going in for a score or at least 3 points. Ended up taking us out and had to punt the ball. So that really turned into a turnover in a game where the turnovers were 0. Right? We didn't have an edge, but we didn't lose the game in regards to turnovers, but we got to be on the attack. So some penalties hurt us, and we got to find a way to make sure we're on the attack more offensively. Defensively, we got to stop the run. I mean, they threw for 20 yards and beat us. That's 2 weeks in a row where a team in total has thrown for 50 yards and beat us. So we've had really good conversations looking at, wow, we got to adjust quicker to some of the run schemes that are coming at us. There was a power scheme that we didn't fit correctly, and they came back to it, and we didn't get it adjusted quick enough. And so that's on us as coaches to make sure that we adjust quickly to some of the stuff we're seeing. And then we had some missed tackles in that game. That it's something we got to continue to focus on, even with our guys beat up, banged up, just like everybody is in the country, that we got to tackle better. Special teams-wise, really a wash, special teams-wise, outside of missing a field goal at the end of the game to make it a one-score game. Well, I believe in Colton Boomer. We got to make that kick. Got to make that kick. That's a huge part of our team and making sure we get those points. And there's some other spots on special teams that we can be better. But really, if you look at it, overall, pretty much a wash, both sides. We got to make that kick, though. They made their field goal. We didn't make ours. So proud of how our guys battled. Wasn't by any means good enough, 17-7. Not good enough. Not good enough, and I take full responsibility, and everyone can have their opinion of what that means, but I really do. It breaks my heart because these kids care. They love this team, and they give their all in practice and for this team. Now, at 6-4, we got senior night on the blue, and it's going to be a sold-out crowd, and we got to protect the blue. That matters to us. We did not do it the last time we're on the blue, and that's really going to be my message. It's not about the next game. It's not about post. It's all focus is about senior night on the blue, and us learning from this past weekend, us learning from, okay, how can we be more explosive offensively? How can we do a better job stopping the run defensively? How can we make game-changing plays on special teams where we have not to this point? So that's really going to be our focus this week. Injury updates. Maddox is still going to be out. So he's doing better, but he's still going to be out. Hopefully we get Chris Marshall back. He's done a good job in rehab, and so hopefully we get him back practicing, and he'll be available. Jason Steele is going to be questionable. I don't see him being able to play, but he's done a really good job focused on his rehab and getting back ready to play. Sherrod Smith, hopefully we can get him back. He was close. He was really a game-time decision, so hopefully we get him back, and he can be rolling. Malachi Williams, our number 2 D end, he's banged up. We'll see if we can get him back. That's really the quick update there. Amarion McCoy had a knee injury about 6 weeks ago and elected just to fight through it, battle through. I mean, he has to get his knee drained like twice a week because he's battling. It got tweaked again in the game on Saturday, so he's going to get surgery this week, and Amarion's going to be out for the season. It's a hard moment because he loves his team, and he's been absolutely battling. But at this point, it got tweaked again, and he can't go out there and perform the way he knows he needs to and we need him to. And so he's going to get surgery and get it fixed. So he's going to be out there later of the season. He's going to do a really good job making sure he helps lead this team because he's been battling, man. I'm so proud of that kid. I mean, the amount of times he has to live in the training room and get it drained and be right, that's because he loves his team. That's because he loves his team, and we're going to miss him, but he's going to do a really good job leading his team. That's really pretty much the injury updates. Talking about Colorado State, I mean, they're a good football team. Tyson Summers, their interim head coach. I've been in that spot before, and they haven't flinched. I mean, you see them and how they've been playing. They've been battling. I mean, you look at even what they're able to do. I mean, they beat up on Fresno 42 to whatever. They had New Mexico. That game's really theirs. They throw an interception late. They lose, I think it was 20-17. So it's a good football team. And so we're gonna focus on them and focus on the schematics they present so we can be on the attack. But we're doubling down on us, making sure that we learn, we grow, and our best football team shows up on Saturday night. Offensively, what they do, they got a really, really good group of offensive linemen, really long, really athletic. They really get you moving lateral, and they create explosive plays. They got a slew of running backs that do a good job. They really play with 20 and 25, do a good job. Quarterback-wise, they played really 2. They played number 7. They played number 3. They're kind of back and forth a little bit with their quarterbacks. I think we're probably going to see more of number 3. He really played a little bit more last Saturday against New Mexico. He threw for a bunch of yards. So we'll see who we get. We'll plan for both of them. Receiving core solid. Tight ends do a good job. They put you in a lot of conflict. They do a lot of different formations, and they do a good job offensively. Defensively, they're a little bit different. And obviously Tyson Summers has done a really good job there defensively. They put you in a lot of different conflict with their fronts. They stem and move out of their fronts. They get in a lot of different odd front structures. They'll play in some 2-5s and a 0. They'll move to it with different personnel. They got good coverage adjustments, and their guys play really, really hard. Their back end can run. Their linebackers are really savvy with some of the run fits they put them in, and they play really hard. They do a good job creating takeaways. So we got our work cut out for us. It's going to be all about us learning, growing, and being our best. So with that, I can open up for questions.
When you go back and look at the play calling and you say a lot of it's the weather, how much of it is the weather and how much of it is it not wanting to throw too much on a quarterback who maybe doesn't have quite the experience?
Yeah, I just think there are variables. That's why I use the word variable. I'm not saying like the weather was just a variable in the game, right? Having Max is just a variable, but we believe in him. We believe in Max. We did not put him in situations to attack downfield enough, and that's on us as coaches. And looking at it after the game, like I said, when I talked post game, I had to go watch the film to make sure and after watching it a lot and making sure me and our offensive coach on the same page. We had more opportunities to attack downfield, more opportunities to get the ball on the perimeter, more opportunities to give our playmakers the ball in space, and we didn't. So we got to make sure we do a better job of that going forward. We're still going to run the football, but we got to do a better job opening it up.
Max this week, or is
We are. Yep, it's going to be Max. We believe in Max. And we obviously he's got to have a really good week of practice. He's got to continue to grow and perform in practice. We put a premium on practice performance, but I believe in Max, and we got to make sure we give him opportunities to attack more.
So that mentality to attack on the offense doesn't happen in the middle of a game. What happens? What's the breakdowns there?
Yeah, we got to, first off, we got to do a really good job as coaches, Prater. We got to make sure, the 4 games we've lost, and this is not just on our offense, but just now that we're speaking offensively, we've scored 7 points, and we've been shut out in the second half in all of our losses. You're not going to win football games if that happens. So what are we adjusting at halftime? How are we going to put our players and our playmakers in better spots in the second half? What are some things we're seeing that we can exploit in the second half? And we're going to do a better job with that. We knew that was a focus, but we obviously didn't. We're performance based. We didn't perform the way we needed to. So us as coaches got to do a better job, Prater, so that in a second half, we have better answers. We can be on the attack more. And especially in the second half of this game, the weather really cleared up, especially sort of the second half of the third quarter, especially in the fourth. It was better. And so we got to pick our spots to make sure we can attack, still run the football, but we got to make sure that we can attack downfield, because when you don't, you're going against a box defensively that's really, you don't got enough numbers, right? Especially with a quarterback that is not a +1 run threat. We're outnumbered in the box. So it doesn't matter what run schemes we do. It's going to be really hard to be explosive. And when you look at football, the 2 biggest stats are turnovers and explosives. Turnovers was a wash. It was 0. We didn't take any on defense, which we need to, but we didn't turn the ball over. Ball was on the ground, but we got it back. And then explosive plays. We had 4. They had 7. And really, we had 2 going into the last drive of the game and got 2 on that last drive. So those are the 2 biggest stats that affect winning games. And one was a wash, one we lost. We lost a football game.
Is it fair to say that Nate is still learning his new role?
No, I don't think so. I think you're learning and growing always, Prater. Like, is Nate going to be a better offensive coordinator today than he was a week ago? Yeah, I would say no different for me as a head coach, no different for someone who's been an offensive coordinator for 10 years. Hopefully, you're always learning and growing. But just like I believe in Coach Potter, believe in him. I know who he is as a coach. I know how he sees the game. I know he pours in our players. I know he's got answers. Now, are we performing to the level we need to offensively? Absolutely not. But for me, I don't directly go to, you can't do it or you're not good enough. I think to me, that's a very average leader, that the second maybe a player doesn't play well in a game, all of a sudden you just write them off. Or is there something you're missing? Is there ways that I got to support Nate more? Are we getting enough? Are we having enough conversations throughout the week? Are we putting our players in good spots? And it's holistic. We are not performing the way we need to offensively, and our players care. They are battling. So it's on us as coaches, and we got to put them in better spots.
Schemes, didn't matter, but I don't think there was any play action. You didn't have any 2-back sets.
Yep.
It seemed like a lot of just basic run plays. How do you look at the types of plays you're running in terms of, I know you want to run the ball, but can there be more variables and creativity there?
There needs to, BJ. Yeah, we need to put a defense in more conflict. We need to find ways to put them on their heels more than we did in the game. And we got to be better. And we had some things in the game plan that we didn't use, that we had good conversations about why, and making sure that we don't leave those bullets unshot. We go into a game, and I think the question was asked to me after the game, we don't go in any game planning to lose. We go into every game planning to win. And that's on us as coach to have the plan and then to go out and execute the plan. But we didn't. We had some of those bullets we didn't shoot, and we got to make sure we use them.
In terms of the in-game adjustments, how do you guys think you do as coaches there? Because a lot of the stuff you say, we saw it later and we should have done this. Where's that breakdown in that communication during the game, why some of those changes can't come sooner?
Yeah, we got to be better, BJ. Yeah, especially in this day and age with iPads and all that, we know what it is. Why are we not adjusting and it being executed on the field in game? Because it's too late on Sunday to make adjustments, right? It's easy to sit in my chair in my office and say, oh, this is what we could have done, should have done, just like everybody's going to do with us. We got to make in-game adjustments better. So we're having good talks to the staff, and this isn't brand new. Last weekend against San Jose State, we've been shut out in the second half of multiple games. We've had more points scored us on the second half in these losses than we have in our wins. We got to do a better job. And defensively, there's some similar things too. There's a couple run schemes that once we got them fixed, we were in a good place, but it still took too long. And in the game we're playing really good teams. We're on the razor's edge. We got to make sure that we adjust quicker, and we're going to be better for that going forward. But now it's for us making sure in real time, what are we doing? How are we using the iPads? What is our conversations when our side of the ball is off the field? How can we get this fixed? Where are we losing this? Those are conversations we're having with staff.
When you have those exact same conversations in game, what's Zach's role?
Yeah, for me, and that's why the second our offense is off the field, I'm switching over to defense. So it's conversations with our offense, what's going on. And our entire offensive staff does a really good job. Hey, these are some things we need to get to. I can't speak to exactly what's being said because the second one side of the ball is out, I'm on the other side of the ball focused on that side, Prater. But from talk with Nate and talk with our entire offensive staff, everyone has good opinions and where we're going to go to, but it has to be better. The product is not what it needs to be, especially because our players care and they are working their tails off. We need to be better as a coaching staff.
There's been games where it has been clicking, where you are scoring 50 points a game. Is there anything you can look at and see, say, okay, we were doing those things in these games that you necessarily weren't doing when in the losses?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been explosive as an offense this season. As of late, we have not been. So why? And there's no excuse. Weather's not an excuse. Who's in the game's not an excuse. We have to be explosive in offense. And we have enough. We have what it takes. So it's on us as coaches. Like I said, I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of our players. The product on the field is not what it needs to be. If our effort from our players is there and they're working their tails off, that's a coaching issue. That's on us, starting with me, and that's on our coaches to put them in spots to be explosive.
Hindsight's 2020. Looking back at the film with Max, and I know there was an emphasis to run the football against SDSU. Was the conversation, hey, we need to let Max kind of air the ball out a little bit more headed into this game?
You talking about going to Colorado State? Yeah, we haven't met with our players yet. We're going to meet with them later tonight, but absolutely. I mean, we believe in Max. We got to give him more opportunities to take his shots, and then it's Max's responsibility to do a really good job in practice, to earn the trust with his coaches and his teammates.
Before halftime, when it was a tie game, it seemed like that could have been a good moment to see maybe what you get out of him, maybe for the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
What went into the decision making to just kind of go into the half for the tie game?
Yeah, in that situation, it's a one-score game, and I thought about that situation a lot. It's one-score game, and at that point, still raining, still coming down, minute left. We had no timeouts. Wanted to see if maybe one of our runs would pop and create an explosive play. Then we'd be rolling. It didn't. And at that point, I'm not obviously hindsight's 2020. At that point in the game, I was thinking, you know what? It's a one-score game. Let's not create any issues, especially where the weather is right now. Let's go in. Let's adjust. Let's have really good answers and come out better second half. Hindsight's 2020, and look at that situation going forward. Want to be on the attack more than we were, but that was where my head was at with how we played it.
Timeouts then called for before that, like for the defense, or were you trying
to still wanting to see what we could get, right? I mean, I'm always going to be on the attack and how I think game management wise. And so we had a minute, we had no timeouts left. It's like, hey, let's see if we can get something going here. And nothing really hit the way we wanted it to. And at that point, I was like, you know what? We're going to go into halftime. Do I regret it looking at it now? Well, we scored 7 points. So probably should have used that series too. But in the moment, I don't regret where my heart was at. I didn't regret how I went through my process, and knowing that where we're at in that game, one-score game, it was still raining. Let's not do something that puts us in a bad spot here.
You talk a lot about the conversations you've had with Nate and the offensive staff today, and the issues are pretty clear for everybody right now. What was the conversation like in terms of how to fix the issues?
Yeah, good question. That's what it's all about. I mean, we are problem solvers. It could take anybody on their sofa at home to watch and look at a game and give their opinion. We're problem solvers. And so that's where my biggest message, even yesterday, their staff, as much as it kills me when our team doesn't win these games and I have to look in these kids' lives and these kids' eyes and see how much they're, but we got to find a way to get it done. So us as coaches, we are problem solvers. We have to create answers. And so that's what we're going to work to do. How do we do it in practice? This week in practice, we're going to be very simple, very, very efficient with our time. We got to execute better. So is our urgency of practice enough, right? So that when we get in the game, I can execute the things I do in practice. Okay, what are some drills we're going to start doing? We're going to do a little bit different things at practice or executions at a premium. That's what we're into. And then making sure, like almost the point you have, BJ, making sure formationally, everything we do puts a defense on their heels to make sure we can attack more, not just throwing the football, running and throwing the football. That's what we're going through right now. That's what I know our coaches are doing a really good job game planning.
Sean Lewis said they bullied your offensive line post game. You've watched the tape here and there, and what are your thoughts on that? Do you agree with him?
Everybody post game has their opinion on how they handle press conferences. That's not how I handle press conferences. Let me start with that. They won the game. They won the game. Hats off to them. They did absolutely enough to win the game. But I love our team. Our team never flinched. They battled. They won 17-7. Hats off to San Diego State.
In terms, you mentioned trying to be better with the iPads and all that, is whether who's in the box helping look at stuff, whether it's who's calling the plays, or maybe not that drastic, but is any operational stuff going to change this week?
Yeah, look at that, BJ. The iPads is something we're really on right now as a staff. I don't have any answers for you guys right now, but how we're using them, how our players are using them. Is it too much information to where our guys just watch their series? Maybe they didn't play well in the series before. Are they going out, scared is the wrong word, but now more afraid to lose than they are going out attacking? So we're looking, because we want to use it as a tool and make sure that we don't keep our guys from playing their best. But we're going to make some changes with the iPads. I don't know what those are yet, but that's a huge topic for me with our staff. In regards to someone maybe go up in the box and changing on that too, I don't know what those changes are right now. Obviously, Nate's in the box, Coach Chins is on the field. The information flow is really good. We're seeing things. Like I said, I would feel way different, BJ, if post-game it's like, man, we never saw this. We never had good communication. We do, but our players aren't executing with the adjustments we're having. So that's on us. That's not on them. So are we being clear enough with our adjustments? Are we taking the time to make sure it's very clear defensively, offensively, what we're doing? Because it's not happening. It's not for lack of information. If anything, BJ, it's probably too much. It's probably too much. We got to simplify to make sure, hey, this is the one thing for my position group or side of the ball. That next series is a non-negotiable we have to get done. That's where we got to be better. It's not for lack of information.
Spencer, once the defense goes out on the field, you kind of switch your attention. Are you against maybe letting Coach Chings just take a couple of series and just focusing on the offense once they're off the field? Are you open to that?
Yeah, for me, I'm all about the team, all about game management. So I'm there to support whatever side of the ball. And we have really, really good coaches. I believe in our defensive coaches. I believe in our offensive coaches. I believe in our special teams coaches. The time for me talking about all that stuff, that's going to be after season. No different. I could ask about recruiting. Yeah, we're absolutely recruiting our tails off right now, but we have our team right now, and I'm pouring into them. So in game, when one side of the ball is out, they need my attention. Those players, I want them to see me looking at them. I want them to see me with them. That's a non-negotiable for me. Those 11 dudes on the field, I don't care if it's kickoff or defense or offense. I'm going to be right there supporting them, and we got good coaches.
2 years ago, Spencer, you guys were on the outside looking in at a Mountain West Championship appearance. There was kind of a breath of fresh air that apparently swept through here, and you guys ran the table and got there. What do you learn about that experience, and how do you apply it to now where you guys might be kind of on the outside, but still games to play?
Yeah, Jay, I think about that 2 years ago a lot. For our team, the past 2 weeks, we've had everything on the table, everything to play for, and just haven't executed enough. And we got to get that fixed. So for me, that's why so much is less about postseason, championship game, bowl games. My sole mission this week is to focus on our guys, staff first, learning, being better for our players, and us playing our best to protect the blue on senior night. And then whatever happens 2 games from now, let the chips fall where they may. That's my focus for our guys. I want our players to be where their feet are. This season's going to be over in a month. And I'm going to make sure us coaches, our players, we are where our feet are. And I'm going to talk to our team tonight, talk to our leadership. Everything you want in this life is on the other side of hard. I believe that. Everything you want in life is on the other side of hard. And I talked about no different being married. I said, man, if the second it was hard the first couple years, I said, I'm out. Or the first time me and my kids, it was hard. I was out first time as a coach. My first couple jobs, you're making $18,000 and you're trying to figure out, but everything you want in life is on the other side of hard. And I said, guys, we got to learn from this. Because if you go left or right or go backwards, you're falling in line with the statistics of our world right now, where guys want to run from hard things. Go through it. Got to go through it. Don't think about, well, after the season or right now, be where my feet are. Everything you want in life's on the other side of hard. And I'm just doubling down there, Jay. But what I do know, what I learned a lot 2 years ago, is a team that blots out what people are saying about them, blocks out what's going to happen after season, and doubles down on loving their team, focused on being where their feet are, and having a blast playing football. Anything is possible.
You mentioned the two quarterbacks that you're facing. What are their differences in play, and does that kind of make it a little harder to prepare, having to prepare for two different schemes?
Yeah, both of them are athletic. Both of them can throw. They both can run their offense really well. I think, 3's a freshman. 7, I want to say, is maybe a sophomore or a junior, so 7's a little bit older than him. They're both athletic. They both can do a lot. Obviously, they both have some things they do differently. We got to be really aware of who's in the game, but they both can run the offense really well.
Latrell Caples, feels like this dude's been here almost as long as you have. Just what can you say about what he's meant to this program?
Oh, man, Latrell Caples is a young man that choked me up and thinking about, that I have the utmost respect for. I mean, a guy that, and I ask people, please just even watch the San Diego State game. I mean, watch for 22 plays in a row when we ran the football, he's blocking his absolute tail off. Team guy, loves his team. We even met as a leadership group, which he's on, and just talked about being where your feet are. And he even said, I'm a senior. There's a lot of things after this season that I got to get figured out. He's like, but the time's not now. The time's to be here, to finish what we start. And I think the absolute world of Latrell Caples. I love him dearly. I believe that the best is still to come for him in this life because of who he is. And this will be home for him forever.
Where do you start with cornerback competition with McCoy this week?
Yeah, we're going to start with Freeney and Sherrod Smith. And they're going to go, obviously, Sherrod's injury. We'll see kind of where he's at, but those two will definitely go at it. Franklin Johnson is going to have a shot too. And DeMauro does a really good job rolling guys. Obviously, we've played really well at that position this season. So it's going to be, we're going to turn the heat up, and we're going to still roll guys. You can see in game, we're able to get a lot of guys in. But those will be the two that first kind of have their first shot at. But we'll roll Frank too. And we'll even see Trey Tolmera but we're going to roll some guys to see going into a game who's our 4.
Writing the letters for the seniors?
I'm actually starting today.
Just how long does that usually take you? What's kind of your process for doing that?
Yeah, it takes me about a week. I think about it. I started thinking about it in the bye week just because some of the things I wanted to speak to individual, and just each one takes me a while because, I mean, I love these kids. And especially like even talking about Latrell Caples, like, golly, that letter is going to be hard just because I care about him and his life. So I usually it takes me a while. I spend a good amount of time on it and usually do it at night or early in the morning when it's just kind of me here and just thinking about these kids, praying for them. And I always want to be in their life as someone, especially when this is over. I never want anything from them. I'll never call because I need something. I want to just call because I love them, and I want to always be able to speak truth into their life. And that's what it is.
What's your number for Saturday then? 20?
It's a good question. Yeah, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. 18, 20? Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right, go for it, guys. Yeah, I know, kind of a frustrating Saturday for you guys in San Diego. 4th time you guys have put up 7 points, get shut out in the second half. What do those conversations look like with Coach Danielson about what has to change with this offense to be a little bit more consistent?
Yeah, no, it's always constructive. We're always looking for solutions, and that's the big message from me and him and to everybody else is we got to find answers, look for solutions, be problem solvers, and not complain or defend, but try to figure out how we can get better and eliminate, those situations, those outcomes.
You went in wanting to run the football, but why just the hesitancy to give Max, much of a chance on some of those third downs and stuff and not really throw the ball much at all?
Well, a big part was weather. That was a big part of it throughout most of the game, but also that was part of the game plan too, was to be able to run the ball, especially in certain situations like third down, and be smart and be calculated with when we throw it. But, it changed based on conditions, situations. Obviously, looking back on it, you wish you would have done things differently, but that was kind of the game plan going in for multiple reasons.
You guys are either scoring 7 points or 45 points. When things aren't going well, why do you think there's a struggle to change things in game?
Yeah, no, great question. I think partly it's been turnover based. Now this past game it was not, which was good to see. We're doing a better job protecting the football. But in the past, that was a big issue, was turning the ball over in the second half. I think we need to do a better job. I need to do a better job, number one, as far as second half adjustments, going out and executing those, making sure if there's something in our process we can change, we can get that done during halftime and do a better job communicating it. There's a lot of solutions there. Again, that's to Coach Danielson's point to the first question is what can we do to help this? What are the solutions? What can we implement right now instead of saying, should have done better?
So I guess you kind of touched it there. Is there anything that you can think of or you'd like to see that the coaches can do operationally?
Yeah, there's things that we've already pinpointed as an offensive staff that we're going to do differently in our prep leading up to the game and then at halftime to help with how we respond in the second half.
What those things are, I guess.
No, those are between staff and myself.
The types of plays you're calling too, in terms of you want to run the ball, but is there more you could do in terms of we didn't see any kind of two-back sets? Is there more you can do? We saw the pitch, I know, on 3rd and 3 to Sherrod. In terms of the types of running plays you're calling, do you think there could be a little more variety there? Or
yeah, I think there's always you want more variety, but I think again it's defensive based, it's personnel based, it's quarterback based. There's a lot of things that go into play. Also, offensive line. I think we overall run a lot of schemes, but again, it's pinpointing what can we be the most successful at with the personnel that we have. Overall, within that game, I thought there were times that we did a really good job running the football. Obviously, it became very one-dimensional for a lot of reasons, and we got to get that fixed. But I thought the guys did a good job playing really hard and playing physical.
Seeing the way Max played, particularly in the fourth quarter, does that give you more confidence into opening it up earlier in the game this week?
Absolutely. It just gives me more confidence, gives everybody confidence, gives them self-confidence. Those are good game reps where you did a good job throwing the football late in the game. That was great to see, and I think that's just part of his progression and him continuing to get better and what it's like to actually get those game reps and how you develop as a player when you get those.
Zeke came up a few times last week and paid attention to pregame warmups. It looked like Zeke was kind of warming up his QB too. What has he kind of done to walk on out of Meridian High School to work his way up into that role?
Yeah, Zeke just does such a good job kind of starting in whatever his role is. Even coming in just as a true freshman, he was always vocal. He was leading the young guys. He always attacks everything he does. And so I think that showed up when he was down at the scout team. Defensive coaches will tell you he just makes plays. He's kind of got that it factor about him. He just stars in the role he's in. And when you do that, you earn opportunities moving forward.
What do you envision for his future? He's kind of a wildcat guy, but moving forward, as well as he's progressed, where do you see him fitting into this offense?
It's tough to say, within the role he's in right now. The biggest thing is he's got to be prepared on a weekly basis because you never know when your number's called.
I feel like Sire played the other night.
Really well, yeah. I thought it was his best game, and then he had a couple critical penalties at the end of the game that, obviously crushed him, and he's going to be hurting about. But I thought overall it was his best game if you take away those two penalties.
What's happened with, Matt Lauder and maybe his frustrations? No one wants to get him the ball more than you do, I'm sure, as his position coach. But just why hasn't that position been more active in this offense as far as just stats go?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think partly it just hasn't been there. We've called it, or then we just haven't executed it. It's just one of those things. We're continuing to find ways to get them the ball, but I think that's just kind of how this season's progressed, and he's done a really good job. Obviously, he's a playmaker. He wants the ball, but he's done a really good job owning his role, whatever that may be, even within a game. If the ball doesn't come to him, he's not letting it affect him. He's still doing his job in protection in the run game. So really proud of him. I know I got to get him the ball more, but really proud of just how he's responded overall this season and what he means to this offense.
Joel Caples, he got here when you were still in your Montana State period. Just what can you say for what he's meant to this program and how long he's been here?
Yeah, he kind of epitomizes the toughness and the mentality that you want within a program, how intelligent he is as a player. I mean, we ask him to do a lot of different things on special teams as well, and he just goes out and does it. He doesn't even think about it. He just goes and executes and does his job. So really proud of who he is as a person, but of course as a player too.
How big of a leader has he been, especially in that wide receiver room? As obviously Bang is out, Chris is out, injury and stuff issues. Just what's he been like for that room?
It's been huge for the room, but also for the team and for our offense. He's vocal and he models the way, and I think that's so important, especially an older guy like himself.
You mentioned you guys had some other stuff that you just didn't get to in the game, and I don't know how specific you want to get, whether that's Wildcat or any kind of other type of stuff, but just what, in terms of what you didn't get to and why that didn't happen, what I know it goes back to the in-game adjustments. What do you kind of look at it from that standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, we want to be on the attack. Well, we weren't last game, and there was things that we had in that we didn't get to for a variety of reasons. Not going to make excuses about it, but each week we go into it. We want to make sure that we have those bullets, and I got to do a better job of making sure we execute those and call those.
I don't know if you knew it at the time, but when you find out later you ran 22 plays in a row, running plays, what comes to your first thought when you think of that?
Again, I think there's a lot of factors. I mean, there's the weather, there's the game plan, there's what we're executing. I loved it because we were moving the ball well doing that. And again, you cannot be one-dimensional. I know that. I'm not making excuses for it. We got to get better in a lot of ways. I have to get better, number one. But I am proud of the way those guys battled and what they did on those 22 consecutive runs. And it means a lot to me that they gave it their all for this team.
What are you seeing from Colorado State? And I guess how can you see Max maybe being a bit more in that game?
Yeah, they're multiple defense. They're attacking defense. They do a lot of different things, front-wise, pressure-wise, coverage-wise. So there's a lot to look at as an offense. So there's great opportunity. I think we keep building on what Max did and how he's getting better, and there's a lot of opportunity for everybody to have an impact.
What did you make of how he did? I mean, you didn't ask him to do a ton, but he obviously, in terms of how he managed the game and what he did out there, what'd you think?
Oh, very proud of him. Very proud of him because, like you said, I thought he did a really good job owning his role, starting in it, operating, which is a huge piece of it, and then taking care of the football. He had the one mishap, but he did a really good job taking care of the football, especially in those conditions.
Offensive line play, obviously, you've seen it at the highest possible level, Nate. Sean Lewis said after the game his front seven bullied the hell out of your offensive line. You've watched the tape a million times. What were your thoughts on that? You agree with him?
Oh, I'm not going to comment on anything that he feels or he spoke about. I would just say that I really liked how that offensive line was playing as a unit last game. I really liked that combination of guys. I thought they were playing free, and I thought they did a lot of good things, just from my perspective.
You've been around the game a long time, accomplished a lot in football. This is your first season as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator. What's just like the steepest part of the learning curve? What's it been? What's been the biggest adjustment for you maybe this year versus any other year you've been doing this?
No, I mean, I've spoken on that a few times. I think the biggest thing for me is I want to make sure I do my job to help these guys and set them up for success. And obviously, I have not done that consistently. And my focus is for these seniors on the blue senior night, doing my best work for them. That's my primary focus.
You've had that senior night on the blue. What's your message to these seniors as they go out there and they try to defend this home turf one last time?
Enjoy it, because just like everybody says, it goes from freshman to senior pretty fast in a blink of an eye. They're probably thinking they're still red shirts, and now it's senior night. So it goes really fast. So just enjoying our fans, our atmosphere, and your teammates, and going out and kind of leaving it all in the blue.
Any more?
Anything else?
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Go for it.
Well, just the run defense, what do you see from that, and what do you guys have to improve in that?
Yeah, there's a lot of good, some obviously not good. Some of that on me, forcing the issue a little bit too much, knowing what kind of game it was. Especially the 4th and 1. They got big personnels. We were ready to play it out of base defense, and I went and matched personnels. I thought at that point in the game we needed that 4th down stop. So there's not a lot of layering when you get big like that and play quote unquote goal line-ish defense. We had it fit up well. We just didn't get the guy on the ground. So there's definite things we need to fix. Some things up front, some technique issues, some alignment issues, and then obviously you got to get people on the ground when you hit them in the backfield. So a lot to fix. A lot that I could have done much differently. Like I said, forcing the issue on some of those runs in that middle of that second quarter. I thought our guys were playing really good up until that point, and I started forcing things just to try to keep that field position battle going. So things I can definitely do better, things that our players need to fix, and coaches need to coach better as well.
You hold them to under 300 yards total. I think they were 3 of 12 on 3rd down. A lot of the stats were good, and the passing yards were very low. So how do you overall look at it? Because I know it's too many rushing yards, but overall you guys, probably looked at a lot of those stats and said you would have taken that before the game.
Yeah, globally, you hold, 300 yards is kind of measuring stick when you're talking about playing really good defense and really not. 17 points, but, we didn't win the game. We needed to do more. We needed to do better in the rush defense, like period, point blank. Things that we've got to get fixed. They came out and wanted to throw the ball early, didn't have a lot of success, and that had kind of been their MO. And, to be quite honest with you, they have had a lot of explosive shot plays throughout the year. So that was one thing we were worried about coming in, and it didn't come to fruition. But I don't know how I look at that to answer your question, BJ. We didn't win the game. We didn't do enough for our team to win the game.
What do you see from Amarian over the last 6 weeks? We just learned he's had been playing with an injury, and just how big of a loss is that for the defense?
Yeah, it's going to be a loss. Amarian's played really well this year, but I feel really good about the guys that have been behind him. Demetrius Freeney, Sherrod, some of those younger guys. I feel really good about them, and he's going to continue to tutor those guys. Amarian is a great presence in practice. He's got, and I know for all the things that negatively that people have seen during the game, there's a ton of positive people I've seen too, but some of the personal fouls and those kind of things, that's not who Amarian is in practice. In a practice, he's very positive. He's got a lot of great juice. He helps those young guys, so he's going to continue to do that. And, obviously you never want to bring up an injury that a kid's dealing with, so that's public knowledge, especially when he's going to play through it. But proud of him the way there's a lot of people that wanted to shut that down as soon as he got hurt, and he wanted to continue to play through as long as he could. So proud of him for that. But I know he's going to help get those young guys ready, and so I'm confident in those young guys that'll get in there.
Do you know Marion's eligibility status right now? I think he's a fifth year. But...
If you want me to be real honest, I'm like the wrong guy to ask on all the eligibility stuff. So I don't, but I'm sure that'll be brought up in a staff meeting here in the very near future.
Are you getting enough that you need to from your linebackers right now?
No, we're not getting enough from anyone on the defense right now. So the answer is no, that we need more from the front, the linebackers, the DBs. It's not just one group, and everything goes hand in hand. So everybody needs to play a little better. Everybody needs to be a little bit more assignment sound. Everyone needs to tackle better. So I don't think it's one group or another. They all go hand in hand. If the D line gets out of a gap, then the linebacker screwed up, and if the linebacker screwed up, then the DB screwed up. So we need to just get things fixed globally, and then every position group will play better, including the linebackers.
What challenges is it when you're facing an offense that can play two different quarterbacks?
Yeah, they're probably going to. I mean, it looks kind of like their MO. Are you talking about Colorado? Yeah. It looks like kind of their MO. They we're going back and forth, and I feel like they don't have one selected yet. They're going to kind of see who's got the hot hand in the game. Like last week, even though there were some mistakes made, I think that he ended up with 250 yards throwing the ball. So you got to prepare for both. I think that they're both capable of running the system. So I don't think it's like some of these other games, in the past or whatever, where it's like, hey, this guy is going to come in and it's +1 runs. Like that's what he does. And this guy's going to sit in the pocket and throw it. I think these guys are both capable of running the whole show. I just think they've done a really good job here in the last couple of weeks of using some different personnel, some different players, putting them in different roles. And it's as we're watching it going through right now, it's going to be challenging to locate certain players in every formation.
Jeremiah Irby, say, move to field corner. Do you consider maybe Mickey outside of nickel, moving him to the traditional corner, and maybe someone else at nickel? Any of those?
Yeah, those are questions we talked about this morning early when we found out Amarion was probably going to be out for this game for sure. And then so my response to you and our staff was, let's put our plan together first, and then let's talk about who needs to be where, so we can kind of see, like, is this going to be a ton of man? Is this going to be a ton of zone? What are we going to do before we start moving those pieces around? Because I think I told you guys last year, one mistake in that San Jose game that I made was I moved Amarion into the slot without really evaluating what the game plan was going to do. And some of those things I asked him to do wasn't his forte. So I just want to get that game plan solidified, and then we'll talk about who needs to move where. But those are on the table.
It was a physical game, late game. You guys get home sometime after 6 a.m. What's the challenge of this turnaround, Erik?
I don't know. I think, these guys that are playing are pretty young yet. So they're used to staying up late and probably not having a lot of sleep on the weekend. But, your body's always a little bit more worn down. So we got to do a good job of taking care of those guys. And Coach Danielson had a good plan for the coaches. We came in directly after the plane landed. So that wasn't fun, going all night without sleep. But I think that you go home and take a quote unquote nap, then you're really in trouble, So we came in and got that game broke down, got a lot of our work done, and then we were able to go home a little earlier so we could get fully rested for today. So I think Coach has a good plan for us. He had a good plan for the student athletes, but there's always challenges, It's like coming back from the island a little bit.
What time did you get out of here yesterday then?
Oh man, I don't know. We got in here at 6:30. I'm always the one, not the last guy. I don't want to be like that. I'm that guy, but I'm usually one of the later guys. I don't know. I tried to make it home for dinner.
Seem like an excuse or whatever, but you look at some of these guys. You mentioned finish a couple plays in the backfield, and you look at some of the guys that might be in those positions, and we know they're kind of battling stuff. But how hard can it be to finish some of these plays right now? Or what's the key to it?
Yeah, it doesn't help, but everybody's hurt. I mean, across the country. I don't know what to tell you. That's just November football. Like, everybody's hurt. You got to play through it. Is it harder to do some of the routine things that you would normally do? Probably, but that's what you got to do if you want to win games in November. So we've got to find a way to continue to fight through it, find a way to take care of these guys and play better football, period.
What did you see out of Jaden Mickey on Saturday? It seemed like he was flying around to the ball. He had a couple big pops in the game. What did you see out of him?
Yeah, Jaden played really well. He tackled well. He was, one of the guys that I thought he tackled very well. He broke on the ball. Got to clean up some things with him in the run fit too, just like everybody else. But I thought he played a really good football game. Jaden, he always brings great energy. He had great energy on the sideline. I thought he did a lot of nice things.
Season isn't obviously gone as well as people thought, but just for the seniors on defense, what can you say just about them as a whole and how they continue to battle and lead this group?
Yeah, I think the seniors, it's a special group, man. I'm proud of these guys. Like you said, it has not gone the way that any of them probably thought, definitely didn't want. But I love these kids, especially those seniors that have, those guys have all kind of been here other than a couple transfers. But those guys were all here when, we had the ups and downs a couple years ago, and they were here through really good, and they here through a season where it didn't go quite like they wanted it to, and they've never quit fighting. They've never been negative in any way. They've always tried to help these young guys, and they're just guys I like to be around off the field. Like, they're good football players, all those kind of things. That is what it is. If they weren't, they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be starting for Boise State. But I like being around these guys off the field. So they're guys that I want my kids to be around. I want my wife to be around. So it's a special, special group, and it's going to be hard to watch these guys go. But at some point, football ends for all of us at some point.
With that said, kind of a common sense answer, but based on how the last home game went, just how badly do you want those seniors to kind of have a better feeling this week on the way out?
Oh, man, I want it really bad for those guys, which is, you never know what happens. There's a couple hard weeks left in this conference. So anything can happen, but this might be their last game on the blue, and I want nothing more for them to have a very, very positive outing and to walk off that thing with a win. And, want it for the Boise State nation too, for all the fans that have paid money to watch us play, for all the ones that cheer for us for at home. I want those wins for all those people because we need that to finish this season strong at home.
Just how do you feel like he played last game, and then just kind of the effort he puts forth? How much he's still a young guy? How much do you feel like he's kind of playing his way into being like the fabric or part of the fabric of the culture of this thing moving forward?
Yeah, Bowen played well last week. One, probably a mistake that I made, which didn't allow him to probably play as fast in some points as he wanted to, was he was playing Mike, he was playing Will, and I put him in at Sam Backer in base defense when they got big on that one drive. So he had a lot of stuff going on, and probably too much for any person to play 3 different positions. So I wish I wouldn't have done that to him, found somebody else to maybe play that Sam in the base so he could play a little faster at Will, and that probably would have helped him, but he still played really well.
I'm at that Mike spot. What does he bring when you put him there?
He's physical and he's twitchy. He's just got a lot of it's like anytime you bring somebody down from the 3rd level into the 2nd level, there's a lot of twitch that sometimes guys don't have that have played at the 2nd level their whole life because they're not used to that space. So if he has to walk out of the box, he's good. If he has to cover a back, it's really good. And then he's physical enough to go in there and play power and play zone schemes and those kind of things. So I think he's got a great combination of kind of, what the modern day linebacker has become. It's not the 6'3", 250-pound neck roll anymore. I think he's kind of more in that mold of that modern day linebacker.
You're 5th in America in passing yards allowed per game. DeMario Warren, I got to work with this guy a few years. What have you noticed about this year, the coaching job he's done with your corners?
Yeah, to be real honest, he has stayed consistent. Demo is who he is. He does a really good job teaching those guys. You know, I know last year there's a lot of discussion and there's a lot of reasons for that, right? But he's done a great job with those guys. Those guys love him. They play really hard. They're doing them. I think he's done a really good job this year of emphasizing the finish on every single play, every single rep, whether it's indie, team, scout team period, whatever. But he's done a really good job emphasizing that finish. And I think he's done a really good job of making the techniques really sound but really simple for those guys so they can go out and execute and play fast.
Or not. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.